Hello and welcome to Deliberately Creative. I'm Stephanie and I'd like to welcome you to episode 51 of Doodle Gems. In this episode, we are going to do the queen of all the gems, and that is diamond. It is the April month birthstone, and I am so excited to wish a happy birthday to all of our April community members. I know this is a little bit early, but we want to make sure that people who have folks with April birthdays have a chance to do this gem as a birthday card for them. Let's get started. I'll show you how easy it really is. So while you're looking at all of the colors that we're going to use, I would appreciate it if you would go down and click that subscribe button and make sure that you click the bell also, so that way you'll get notified when new videos go up. So let's get started. I am going to use a bottle that is about 1 inch diameter. And I will draw around it, sort of center it up on my table here. I will draw around it with a pencil. One of those pencils that we're actually using in the drawing of the gem. And we are going to put a small circle right in the center, or as close to the center as you get. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then halfway between the outside circle and the inside circle, I am going to split this sort of in half. Just like that. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and split this center into eighths, and then I am just going to draw some lines around the outside on that inner circle. I am not matching them up on purpose with the lines in the center because I actually want a few more lines here. We are going to end up with a whole bunch of little faceted spots, little places where the light is bouncing, where dark happens, where sparkles happen. Diamonds are such pretty gems, and being the hardest gem, they are interesting in how they can go in and they can make so many facets, those little places where all of the sparkles can dance. So that's my little sparkle my husband gave me over 30 years ago. I love it. So we are going to go in and make some triangle lines on some of these spaces. Not all of them, and not necessarily every other one. Let's see. Maybe a half one here and a half one there. Just to get a bit of some lines going. There's going to be some interesting dance of light going on in here. And I'm just quickly making some triangles, and if they bump into another triangle, that's fine. These are all little facets, little spaces where light can bounce. They are not actually representative of the true facets on the stone. They are representing the places where light is breaking and fracturing. So it's a lot of fun to see that happening. There. And right now this looks like it's really complicated and that it's really going to be hard, but it's not. I'm just adding some extra lines. These are just little lines between those triangles. to add more spaces where lights and darks can go. That's all. And none of these are going, well, very few of them are actually going to be colored in solidly. There's going to be places where the inside little triangle will get some color, like that. And then it might come down here and be dark here and dark in that little tiny corner, but leave a bit of white and maybe dark in that little spot and leave a bit of white. And we're just going to work the way all the way around the gem. And I may bounce around with my color. This color is the 50% gray. And some of these triangles are going to get cut in half going acrossways, and some might get cut in half going sideways, leaving a center line of white. I am, in some respects, honoring that line for the circle on that one right there. That is mostly so you can see more facets, more sparkles, more places where things can be happening. And we're just going to zip around here. You can slow down and think about it as you're going along. You see how this time I kind of didn't honor that line between the two. I made it sort of bleed across for the darkness. There we go. And sometimes I'm just coloring a corner because the dark shadows can get caught in these little corners, and then it's brighter in other spots. You don't tend to have curvy lines inside of here, inside the diamond. You will have straight lines where these lights are being fractured, but they do not necessarily go the same direction as your division lines that you've already created. And there might be some that are going straight and some that are going around. So this is the third time that I am doing this gem. The first time I did it to design how I was going to explain drawing a diamond. The second time I did the whole thing. I was so pleased. I was happy with how the gem turned out. I was ready to go and edit, and then realized that the sound wasn't working. Now, that's my own fault. I should have tested and checked, and I didn't. So now this is my third time, and I did test and check the sound to make sure that it's working. All right, we're going to go ahead and grab the 20% cool gray, which is a very blue gray, but it's still gray. And it's going to be that lighter tone. There's going to be white of the paper still showing, and even in some of these spots that this color is going, there's going to be some white. There's going to be some gray that happens when the pencil mixes with the other gray that I used. There's going to be spots where that gray has bumped up against. All of that really dark gray that we put in, and that's not even the darkest gray that we did. Let's see, I want my little light there. I think there's going to be a light one here. We'll be leaving some white, and we'll be putting some dark in the middle also. We're leaving slivers of white. We're leaving bits of this color, this gray, in different places. This gem does not get layered like almost every one of our other gems. This one, the colors are being put in very geometrically, and they're bumping up hard against each other. So by doing that and coloring with this pencil hard in some spots and soft in others, I'm getting some variations in my colors, but it's not, let's see, right there. Now I'm just looking for balance, and I'm looking for maybe creating one side of this looking a little bit darker than others, or having some dark patches and some light patches. So it's just working out like that. There we go. Diamonds are one of the gems that have been used by humankind for thousands and thousands of years. And in that entire time, people have revered them as very special. Yep, very, very special, because they are so rare to find. And they're still rare, even though they can be found so many places in the world now. But when they were first found, they were thought to only be in India, because that's where they were first found. And then people figured out in Brazil, they found them. And then in other parts of the world, they started finding them. Let's see, get that like that. And get a bit of dark in that one, but leave some light. And so then people started thinking, well, they're all over the place. They're going to come down in price. They're going to be so much easier to find because so many more people can find them. But indeed, that is not the case. What has happened is that they are still rare. They are still very costly to mine. They take such skill to finish, to take from being a rough lump of diamond and making it into a beautiful faceted stone. And then you put on top of that there are different types of diamonds, different grades. Beautiful, beautiful stones that are very, very clear or have very little color. Very pale, or stones that are so deeply colored and that they're so fancy. The deeply colored stones, most of us will never see one of those because they are so costly. They're only owned by the richest of rich people. There we go, almost done. And so some of those really, really costly gems that we'll never see are owned by the richest people in the world. And they are generally those fancy colored diamonds that are deeply, deeply colored. At least that's what the minerals.net site says, because I went on there and checked it out. All right, I am going to see if putting a little bit of white in here brightens it up. Okay. I gotta mash off the tip of this white because these whites do not like to be sharp. There we go. Go in here, put some white. Actually, I think what I'm going to do, yeah, I'll just do that. A little bit of white here and there, and then I will take the white pen and really strengthen up a couple white spots so that they are very bright white. And we will start our doodle. So let's get that white in there. So I, again, want to wish a happy birthday to all of our community members who have April birthdays. This is a fun gem to do for their special day. And this is the last actual Doodle Gem of the Doodle Gem series. I am doing the rest of the year just the birthstones, so one a month. And I hope that you guys enjoy them, have fun. Put another spot there and a couple little lines here and there, just to get some bright sparkles going. There we go. I hope you're having fun doing this. There we go. Let's see, I think we need a little bit of a lighter color right over here as part of that one. And maybe another little line right here. Breaking that up a little bit. See, that's the thing, is you look at it and you go, all right, so where am I going to break up this color? Where am I going to make a bright spot? It's all just taking some time. Explore, view. All right, so look at that. It's kind of sparkly. Kind of sparkly. All right, so we're going to get started on the doodle. And the doodle is actually very quick. We are doing a bezel. Even though diamonds are not generally set in a bezel, we're going to do a bezel because it makes it easier to draw the doodle. And I want to do an easy doodle, a fun and pretty doodle. Sorry, there we go. And we're just going to spin this around. See, I'm so happy that you can see that my lines are not perfect. They are wobbly. They are very organic. And now I'm doing circles here, which are basically like north, south, east, and west on a compass. And then I'm going to do a circle that is between each one of those. So your northwest, southwest, northeast, southeast. And between each of those, a little ways out, about ½ inch out, I'm putting another circle. And it's between the ones that are against the bezel and out about ½ inch. But you notice I am not measuring. I am not being terribly precise. It makes it more fun this way. And now I am going to connect the dots. But I'm going to connect the dots by swinging over and around, sort of lassoing those dots together. And then I'm going to swing over and come under. And then I'm going to do the same here, over and then under. So I'm going over and then over and then under, and then over and then under. But you don't have to do this. You could do any design you want. This just happens to be the one I'm going to do. I love doodling. I love looking at old tiles, especially Turkish tiles. Find a book or find a website on Turkish tiles, and you are going to find amazing patterns. And you can figure out how to do those patterns just by looking at the grout lines. I have actually seen this pattern on a tile for these kind of triangular shapes or square shapes that are connected with dots. Humans are so cool. They can, many people can come up with the same type of a pattern just by doodling, just by taking the time to put their pencil or pen to paper. So now I'm going to do these cute little, fat little leaves. And they're basically like teardrops or raindrops, or like a split heart. But I like to think that these are like the leaves of the pumpkin or other types of squash in the springtime, because that's what they remind me of, those chubby little first leaves that you get. Makes me happy to think that the April Doodle Gem here is going to have these fun little leaves on them. There we go. Very organic, very restful to just work your way around in a pattern. And one more. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So I think I want to make these little triangles here that are close to the bezel. I want to give them a little bit of definition. So I'm just going to put some little lines on them. Just work my way in. All the way around. And one more. Look at that. That's fun. And now these here in the middle, these triangles, I'm going to just pick one of the corners and draw 3 little lines. And those 3 little lines look like the wrinkles in a petal where it's all joined together. And if you wanted to, you could go in and shade or color. You can make it look like they're actually flowers. We've gone all the way around. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you found a little bit of peace and a little bit of time for yourself. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, and go out, do something creative, take care of yourself so you can take care of those around you. Bye-bye.